What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party.
1, 2, 3 in the place to be. You're now rocking with the best Talib Kweli, the BKMC, the MCEO. We are now live in the flesh, live on stage here in beautiful Austin, Texas. We are at South by Southwest. Have a people's party live. Shout out to my live co-host, Jasmin Leigh in the place to be. How you doing?
Oh, okay. Great.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
You look like
about to go save the world.
Casual Catwoman. Like if Catwoman needed a job and had to go on a job interview.
Wait, what did you say earlier? I look like Kim Possible on a date?
I said you look like Kim Possible on a date.
Call me, reach me, beat me.
Yeah, we are on Luminary right now. Shout out to Luminary. Luminary is a podcast network that has People's Party exclusively to audio. Before you see the video, you can hear us on Luminary. It's a really dope thing. And Luminary also has the Midnight Miracle, Dave Chappelle. That's why I got on my Chappelle gear. You know, you like my Chappelle hat?
I'm liking the sleeve.
Oh, see, this is my this is called a denim thermal sweat polo.
Yeah, I fucks with it. It's
you can get this at the Dave Chappelle shop in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Or you can just get me one for free.
I cannot do that. It's not charity. Someone has to pay Dave Chappelle's bills.
Who? He's rich, bitch.
These clothes don't just make they sell, nigga. Also, shout out to Easy Studios. That's where we're at right now. And in Austin, they've been letting us use the studio, and we salute them. And shout out to Native Hostel. And shout out to, we've been having a great time at Native Hostel. I do a party every last Tuesday in Austin at Native Hostel. Niko is here. I didn't even announce him yet, but he's here. He often helps me host a party. He hosts a party. And shout out to Paul Smith at 12 Rivers and the whole crew, Buck Rogers and Scratch Bastard and DJ Furno and everybody. Shout out to everybody in Texas. Chino Chase is in the place to be, who gives us all the love in Texas. All my people in Texas, word is bar. But we're not here to talk about Texas today. We're here to talk about Niko Is today. I already said his name, so that's why I'm going to just say it. But I'm going to go ahead and give the intro that he deserves. Because our guest today is a songwriter. He is a rapper. He is the Brazilianaire. He is a visionary talent. He has only scratched the surface of what he can do, in my opinion. He is a trilingual MC. That's 3 languages. He can rap. He can freestyle in 3 languages. I've never seen anything like it. He's the philosopher. The bars are crazy. Anyone has ever heard our song, Live from the Blue Note, produced by Junie Ali, knows what I'm talking about. We just dropped that recently. One of my favorite freestylers of all time. Of course, shout out to my man Supernatural. You know what I'm saying? He is capable of holding his own against some of the best. Niko Is. I've seen him on stage. One of the wittiest lyricists I've ever had the pleasure of working with. A rapper I've been proud to stand next to and besides for the last few years. Came onto the scene with the mixtape Chill Cosby. It built him a buzz. Yeah, it's a funny title for mixtape. The tape ages well, surprisingly. After that, we got Good Blood. He linked up with Thanks Joey. We got Brutus. We got Unico. We got all types of projects. The Songs 4 projects. Good Air. You know, Sofrito. 2 Sofritos. 88 days a week. There's so much music. All types of singles and all types of shit. We can't wait to see where Niko Is takes his style next. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only, the best hair in the biz, the heir to the throne, DJ Road Trip. I got a new one, the Toastmaster General.
Oh.
Yeah.
Niko Is in the place to be.
Oh, man.
Hot girl summer.
Hold on. You gotta let the...
It's a hot curl summer.
That was
A lot of
incredible.
ash.
Is that dandruff or ash?
No, never that. It's from the Palo Santo.
It's from the Palo Santo.
Got to
not from the
cleanse
head
the
of
energy in the
soldiers.
room. Thank you for that. That was incredible.
This is a lyricist. Did y'all catch that? I did.
The Head and Shoulders?
Yeah.
They never catch it.
The shampoo.
They're not meant to catch you. How you
I don't
feeling,
use
Niko?
Head and Shoulders.
Of course you don't.
What shampoo do you use?
got
What does
black
Niko
hair.
Is use? We're going to start with the hard-hitting questions. We're not even going to start with the fluff. What shampoo does Niko Is use?
Gold shampoo.
Which gold one? Is that gold?
It's gold.
Oh.
It's actually a rhyme from one of the albums.
Like 24 karat gold?
Uh-huh. With a little organ, a little coconut.
You making it yourself?
No.
Oh.
I outsource.
Okay, man.
I delegate.
So if I use that, then my curls will just pop overnight.
You could try. You
I'll
close.
just buy some. It's okay.
So Niko, how you feeling?
I feel blessed and inspired to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
It's an honor. It's a tremendous honor.
We've been working together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You have been welcome to be on the show at any time, but I feel like the timing is better now because of everything that we've done together in the last few years. And we knew each other when we still first started the show, but the show had to get on his legs first. And you have more work to do, but now you're here. Now we're here.
Oh, thank you.
We met in Orlando, Florida.
The Ozone.
The Ozone. Yes. Shout out to Ozone Magazine.
That's a classic right there. That's before my time.
The Ozone Magazine. Shout out to Ozone Magazine. Orlando, Florida is not a place you think of when you think of hip hop. You got Smiles and South Star. Are they from Orlando?
Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
My son was Amani. Shout out to Amani Fela. He was going to school in Orlando, Full Sail, and I went to visit him. And this was an era in my life where I was still like, fuck that, I gotta go out. I don't feel like that anymore. But
Really?
there was a time in my life when I was like, when I came to a city, I'm like, I gotta go find the club. I went to a club and I was at the bar by myself and a guy came up to me named Triska and he was like,
Shout out
Kweli, what are you
Triska, yeah.
doing here at the club tonight? He was like, come up to here, VIP. And after all that, he took care of me all night. Had a great time. And then he was like, he gave me a CD. And he was like, my man Niko, he raps. I'll pay you to do a song with him. And I was thinking, I could use that money to pay for this trip.
That's a good man's.
Yeah. And so
That's
I
my man's.
went and did the song. And when I went to see Niko, did we hang? Because we ended up hanging out in a hotel, but did we hang out in a hotel before I did the song? Or after?
We did not, no.
Just after I did the song.
Yeah, we went straight to the studio.
Right, so I went to the studio, and the studio was a good vibe, and I did the record. And then either that night or the next night, we hung out at the hotel. And doing the record just felt like, I'm doing a feature to pay for my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Which is, I really don't do that anymore. But
I do.
I feel you. But at that time in my life, I was like, yo, which let's come on. I need, And then when I heard Niko freestyle in my hotel room, it was something I had never heard anything like that. And at that moment, that's when I started understanding Niko's potential as an artist. So I want to hear that story from your perspective.
Wow. Well, you said it. I mean, it was an absolute dream come true. Coming up in Orlando, it's a very transitional city. A lot of people come and go, and take influences from a lot of different places. So it's a little melting pot of culture. So growing up inspired by you, and just working and creating and touring and trying to, I was down with DJ Smalls for a little bit. On
Shout out to DJ Smalls.
So I was still learning, trying to find my footing in the industry, and it's hard from there, because nobody's really shining a light on it. You kind of have to create your own and then take it elsewhere, At the time I had management, New South, and we were just beginning our company and beginning independence. And shout out to Triska, I think the universe makes things happen organically, And that's kind of how it happened. That and a little bit of money,
A little bit of money.
A little bit of money.
And
more
a
than a
lot
little
of
bit.
belief.
And
more than a little bit. And, and then I found myself in the studio and I remember getting a call from Triska. He was like, oh, you got a studio session with Talib Kweli tomorrow. And I was like, what? How? And he's like, yeah, just find a studio. I can't be there. And then I went with Thanks Joey and we did the joint Carmen.
Carmen, yeah.
And it was an incredible experience. And then the rest just kind of happened very organically, You would just be in Orlando and we would go grab drinks and dinner and I'd be in the hotel room. I'm like, I'm going to get these bars off. You know, and,
a lot of bars.
Yeah.
Triska actually ended up getting arrested shortly after that.
He did.
We hung out for about a year. How long was he there for? 5, 6 years?
About 5.5, 6.
About 5.5, 6 years.
He missed the whole experience.
Yeah, and he just got out recently. And, we've been seeing Triska around. Which is a beautiful
and
day.
it was unfortunate because my life changed dramatically after that. We did the joint, and I had features at the time with other artists. We were trying to, again, find our independence, and then that just happened so pure, and then all of a sudden I'm on tour with him, traveling, and then we've hit 25 countries. I've been blessed to open and rock with him and learn, and he wasn't there for a lot of that. So. It was an unfortunate situation. So when he came out, and we would visit him, and I'm like, yo, I'm in Sweden.
Right.
Yo, I'm in Poland, rapping,
Right.
shirtless. It's an honor, man, and it still is. And to be on people's party,
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I obviously met Niko through Talib. This is our fourth state. I'm seeing you, and we're actually working this time. We're not hanging out. Florida boy.
We always working, though.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, so I went to high school and college in Florida, so I'm very privy to Florida music.
Florida.
What can you tell us about the evolution of Florida hip hop? And where do you think that you stand in that?
It's a great question. The evolution of Florida hip hop is always going to keep changing. You know, like I said, it's a transitional place. So there is, you know, just in Orlando, there's so many different type of energies. You know, East Side is a thing. The West Side is completely different. You know, and it's like 15 minutes. So I think it's always going to be changing. I think I fit. I don't think I fit in any box, you know. And that's been my thing. You know, I'm Brazilian, half Argentinian. Grew up in Orlando, live in California, but I be back in Florida. I rap in 3 languages. It's hard, to figure it out what it is.
You're a Brazilian rapper,
because
a Florida rapper.
It is what a Niko is.
Right.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but I'm forever inspired by all the energy in Florida. You know, just in one day I can go to 10 countries in one block.
That's fact.
You know.
And it's also crazy that it is so many different, because like Tallahassee has a different music style.
Shout out
really know
T-Pain.
Orlando.
Shout out T-Pain.
Shout out T-Pain, went to Records with me. And then Miami has a whole nother different style.
Yeah.
When you get in the car or on the tour bus, you take over the aux chord all the time.
Aux chord boss lord.
You are the aux chord boss lord.
This is true.
And I relate to that because I'm an aux chord takeover type of guy. But I defer to you sometimes, and I don't usually do that. And I defer
Thank
to
you
you
for the opportunity.
And I'm glad you appreciate it because I'm being very gracious when I do that. But I defer
That's
to
why
you.
I be spazzing with it.
Yeah, and because you have great musical taste.
Thank
you know a lot of music, and you always, it's rare that somebody could put me on to something.
Mm-hmm.
That's not rare. That's not true, I guess. I guess people could put each other on to stuff. But I know a lot of music.
But you don't trust a lot of people to put you on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
but you
lot of people put me on
You
as a
put me
bullshit.
on the music.
Yeah.
That's right, because I was just one day I was hanging out a few years ago with this girl, and she was dope, and it was like, and I was playing music, and she was like, "Can I get the aux chord?" And I was like, I guess.
That don't exist in my world.
I guess. And I let her do it, and she played me, and she was like, she played me all these songs that she liked. And I was like, this shit is corny, it's trash.
Yeah, I never get the aux chord.
And it turned me off. It was terrible. It was terrible.
There's a certain art to playing the right song at the right time that people don't understand.
Right.
They play for them.
Yes, you got to play
You
for
know,
everyone
and it's
else.
like you kind of got to read the room.
Yeah, you curate the
You know?
vibe. So
Right.
we call you DJ Road Trip.
Thank you.
But how is it that you came upon such a vast amount of musical knowledge?
Time and marijuana. You know, and traveling. You know, I'm home everywhere. You know, so I take my influence from wherever I'm at. And my mother, you know, like always playing wild joints, and I be in a lot of different rooms, and I try to soak that up.
Right.
You know, and take it back. I get put on every day. I don't really like Shazam. I want to kind of, you know, like just not know.
Right.
Like, you remember when I went to go see Moody Man the first time? Actually, at Native Hostel.
At Native Hostel, that's
It's
right.
crazy. First time I saw Moody Man, and I never had heard of Moody Man. And he was playing some shit that I never heard of.
Right.
And I remember asking, I was like, what is this? I can't even pinpoint what genre this is. It was like a million genres in one, and it was like a wave. It was you know, it wasn't like you go see a DJ, it's like you just play Drake, and it's like, yeah, everyone knows those records.
Right.
I want to go see a DJ, and they play something I never heard. Put me on. Let me learn, you know?
Yeah, I'm never the aux controller, and it's all of my friends, they know it. And, and I tend to surround myself with music putter-oners, because that's not my thing. I love vibing to music, but
But we need that.
Yeah, right. You need listeners. Everybody
Audience.
can't
It's
be
symbiotic.
Exactly.
You know, we
exactly.
need that.
So you were talking about you travel a lot. You were born in Rio and you immigrated at 7. How was immigration for you? And let's show some love to Mama Is.
Well, I immigrated, then I innovated. It's a freebie right there, yeah. Shout out to Mama Is, you know.
Shout out to Mama Is. That's my favorite Instagram follower.
Bet.
She loves you.
I love her.
She loves when you like her comment.
I do like a lot of her comments.
You just be liking it. She's like, Niko Talib like my comment. My mother is an incredible, she's the greatest producer ever. She made me, you know. It's a good one. You know, so I'm very blessed to be her son, and you know, I never met my pops. I have siblings. She had me a little later in life, so our relationship is different. I'm very fortunate to have her in my life and in my corner and support me and believing in me, you know, giving me hair. She's traveling right now, actually.
You get your hair from your mom, that is true.
I think so, yeah. She has beautiful hair and she's been growing out more recently. I've been encouraging it.
No, I mean, like, if you lose your hair, that's from your mom's genes, not your father's.
Okay.
I'm part of the losing your hair
Should love your
community.
mom anyway, though.
And I just, it just put me on.
I salute those. I do this for the culture.
Word up. So when you were a very young person and first getting into music, I've heard that
I'm
one
still
of your
very young.
Okay, you're a young viejo.
Young viejo.
Okay, I've heard that Tupac's album All Eyez On Me in particular had a huge impact on you.
Okay.
What was it about that album in particular?
My mother took me to Sam Goody
Oh,
in
wow.
Coconut Grove, right, which is like Miami-ish, kind of like Miami vibe, little fancy joint. Yeah. And she says, go pick out one album. But she didn't really know English like that, you know, so I was fortunate. You know, I was like, I'm going to get the, you know.
Right.
And I chose to get a double album instead. So it was between that or a Wu-Tang joint, I think. And I was like, I want the double album. Pac
More
just
bang
looked-
for your buck.
Right, and Pac looked so amazing. Like, he was just shirtless, just like, you know, on the cover. I was like, I want this.
Right.
And I got it, and she had no idea what he was saying, you know. So I was blasting it at the crib, yelling it out, like throwing up West Side, wearing the bandana backwards, you know. I didn't have hair like this growing up.
Right.
I was bald my whole life. I had a double poppy haircut.
When
you
did
know?
you get
A
it?
poppy haircut?
Yeah.
Tell me what that is.
That's called a Kissimmee shape up. a little. You know, when they shape you up to Hector Lavoe, you know, and it's,
Right.
you gotta have salsa music in the background.
Wait, so when did you get the curls?
Well, they always existed. I
just
just,
didn't
you
know.
know, like I didn't start really expressing myself through my hair till I was like maybe 21, 22. I had the baby fro starting, you know. That's why my logo was even, when I first got with him, I had a different logo and it was just the baby fro. It was beautiful. But now we have reached this form. But yeah, that album was incredible. All Eyez On Me changed my life. It showed me a different world, you know, coming from Brazil and what's possible through sonics and expression. And
Yeah. Now, I can't imagine growing up in Orlando, just in proximity to, I can't, you know, just in proximity to like everything that we see Orlando to be the stereotypical, like
Disney?
like not even Disney, but like, yeah, but like Book of Mormon. You seen Book of Mormon?
no.
Everybody I speak to from Orlando has not seen Book of Mormon. And have you seen it? I'm from Brooklyn. You seen it? Judy said, I'm from Brooklyn.
Now you know how it feels when you didn't see the Proud Family.
Hey, man, there's a world of difference, a whole gulf of understanding
Proud
between
Family.
Book of Mormon and the Proud Family. It's not slander to either of those projects. But yeah, Book of Mormon,
Book of Mormon.
has a song called Orlando, which I feel like it perfectly describes what people think Orlando is. Because in this play, it's by the guys who did South Park. And it's about Mormons, and Mormons' job is from what I hear, I'm not one, is to go places and spread the word of Mormonism, their idea of what Jesus the Christ means. And so he wants to go to Orlando, and at first it's a musical. And so he's like, Orlando, land of the, and they just list all the things. And then they send him to Uganda. And yeah,
I need a drink for that combo.
it's a pretty good play.
Oh.
But you went to Phillips High School, right?
Dr. Phillips.
Dr.
Ooh.
Phillips High School.
Some respect.
Yeah, they expelled me. And then they asked me to speak after I had some success in my life. Then they put me on their Wikipedia under alumni.
Really?
Right under Wayne Brady. And then they took me out. It's been a turbulent relationship, but yeah.
You see him just air them out like that, right?
Yeah.
Shots.
And they,
Fact checkers, man, you know.
wait, so
But
how
it's an
did-
incredible school that taught me a lot, and it's a magnet school in Orlando. So a lot of incredible people go there and have opportunity to learn a lot of different things, you know.
Did you meet Thanks Joey there?
I did. I was in French class in 7th grade, and I was like big on 3-6 Mafia at the time, a lot of Southern music, you know. And Joey is from New York, you know, he's from Brooklyn, and he was wearing gerbos, and he had Anichi, you know, like the fly shit you couldn't find in Orlando.
Oh,
And then
that's
he
how
would
you
come down
pronounce
from
that?
New York, and he had
How
the
did you pronounce it?
the rare shit.
I'm not even about to say.
No, we need to pause this
I just
interview.
thought it
It's
was nice.
Anichi. It's Anichi.
A nice
It's ENYC,
It's NYC.
right?
Anichi.
Nietzsche. It's
I
really
thought it was
Aniche.
an
Aniche.
Aniche.
And he was, wearing an Aniche and Jerbo that he brought fresh from New York, and then he played me the blueprint and the huge headphones, and he had these like muffle joints, with the little hair on them and shit.
Right.
And he put them. He's like, "Yo,
With the hair
3-6
on.
Mafia." He's like, "Listen to this," and he put in. It was a blueprint. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then my
Wow.
life changed, and
Yeah.
then we started a crew.
Joey's an amazing producer, an amazing human being. When
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Joey. Yeah, prayer hands. When I first met him, we had to go pick him up from his parents' house. That's how long I've known you guys.
Wow.
Yeah, we had the studio at his parents'
The
house.
studio was at his parents'
That
house.
saved our life, His parents built a studio for us in the garage in 10th grade, and that saved our life.
Yeah, man,
Salute
Joey's a
to
good
them,
guy.
yeah.
You guys sound so good together.
Thank you.
The Chill series. Okay, I said in the intro it was Chill Cosby, but there was a
It
bunch of
didn't
chills.
age well, that name, by the way.
I
had it
heard, when
scrubbed,
you
I had
said
it
chill, I
scrubbed.
heard Pill Cosby.
You had it scrubbed?
I had it scrubbed. It doesn't really exist.
Okay,
It was somewhere on that piff,
okay.
on the sketchy
There was
page.
other
I can't-
Chill mixtapes though, right?
There was many.
How many
It was Chill Cosby, Chill Nye, and Chill Clinton, and that was a trilogy. Because I'm the chillosopher, Chill, recognize chill.
But so Chill Cosby was the last one out of those,
that one, yeah.
and that's the time I met you.
Yeah, and that one is the one that I got success off of.
Right.
I had a joint with Bronson on there, Casey Veggies.
Now, how did you do that from Orlando, being a relatively unknown MC? Get those because those guys was popping at that time.
Yeah, I was doing my thing in Orlando, I was making my rounds through the venues and being the opening artist for cats that came. Hustling. Sometimes selling tickets, doing all the struggle shit to get just some stage time, And I had the blessing to open up for Bronson at the show, and then we copped a feature after. And I kept doing that until it worked, because it usually doesn't work like that, Like in a rap game, you get a feature from somebody, and it's like a business transaction.
Something you said to me about the era once stuck with me, because I remember I started my career freestyling and battling and ciphering in Washington Square Park, and that was a big part of being a part of that community. We were outside, but you told me that you were part of internet boards and comment sections and freestyling and battling people in comment sections on the internet, which was strange to me.
Rapworlds.com.
What is it?
Rapworlds.com.
Wow.
I was the man on the board for sure. Yeah, Phase.
That was your name on the board?
Phaze. Phase, yeah.
Okay.
Top Notch. That was me and Joey's thing, Top Notch Records. We had a record label.
That's lit.
And I was just battling online, through text and then voice text, and it was...
That sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, you
That sounds
record it
insane.
on the little fucking, little video game wireless headset mic, and then send a disc back within 8 hours.
8 hours.
Wait, you had a
That's
whole
too
8 hours?
long.
Really?
Yeah.
That's too long.
That
to
sounds,
be
yeah,
doing
it sounds like a
disc.
long time.
Yeah, well, people don't really freestyle, right?
Yeah.
Well,
but-
I found that out on this show. I
freestyles are
thought
not
that people did
freestyles.
free. I can't remember which one,
Niko
which
Is
interview it
freestyles,
was. And they were like, yeah, you write out your stuff and then you go on and do it. I'm like, that's not a freestyle.
Well, that became called freestyling at some point.
Yeah.
Something that's not on a song is a
I'm
freestyle.
a freestyler. I spit off the dome.
Go for it.
No, Talib, because I'm sitting here in the chair looking at Niko's hair.
Okay.
And then I might need some nair because your legs are looking a little hairy. And now let's get back to the interviews before we get airy. Ah! There y'all go.
That was a freestyle.
It was a freestyle. It wasn't the best, but it came out. Thank you.
But see, it was a freestyle.
Thank
It
you.
was a
It was
freestyle.
not written down.
Stands on the slums.
And I didn't even know what the hell was coming out my mouth. But I've been fired from almost every job that I've had. You got fired
Me
from your
too.
retail job in Orlando.
Many of them.
And then, well, your last one, and then moved to LA and you were rapping on the streets for money. What did that
Yes.
teach you?
Yes. That was a good segue. Yeah, that taught me,
Hopefully better than I just did. But, you know.
yeah. That taught me to work for myself. You got to create something and stand by it and find people who feel the same way. Strength in numbers, I am nothing without the people that helped me get here, I'm amazing,
Right.
but people help me be amazing. People, listening to you, ciphering with my OGs and picking up knowledge from them, And yeah, working retail is...
I loved working retail, actually.
Well,
And that's
for me.
one of the only jobs I didn't get fired from. Shout out to Body Shop.
Where did you work?
I worked in many retail jobs. The last one was American Apparel.
Do you remember any of your street raps?
My street raps. No, they were freestyle.
Freestyle. You were like.
Yeah, I mean, that was very romantic how you said it, you know? It's busking is the
busking.
word, you know? It's
like on Venice Beach?
Yeah, you know, like you go, you find a white guy with dreads and a guitar, and then you open up a fucking, you know, guitar case and spit raps on the beach.
I don't mind the drive-by raps. What my issue was on Hollywood Boulevard when I first moved to LA, and they would be like, "You want a CD? Here, let me sign it for you." And then they give you the CD, and they're like, "Oh, that'll be $5." It's like, wait a minute, don't sign shit and then ask me for money.
You should go to Times Square.
I did a show in Philly just recently, and somebody was like, "Yo, Kweli, can I give you the CD?" And I was like, "No, you cannot."
Wait,
because
who has CDs?
Because I have no way to play that. But then he was like, "No, I don't remember if he said the QR code or the link or something is on the CD." I was like, and then you could get it digitally. I was like, "Oh, well then give me your CD." In that case, yes.
Scan my QR code, man.
QR
man.
codes is the deal.
At some point, I feel like Joey started doing mass Brazilian style beats, and y'all came with this concept of good blood. Songy bong is a Brazilian phrase, right? And it starts out with Ona, which is a classic Brazilian.
Cassiano.
Yes, and you did that beat.
I did. I made that beat, yes.
Yes, but Joey, Incognito is probably the song that made me like, I became a fan of you hearing you freestyle. But the song Incognito made me be like, oh, he can make songs. And on the two and everything on that. But
that beat is crazy.
Yeah. What made Joey go into that lane?
So we started experimenting with sampling Brazilian music in high school, but we weren't prepared. We weren't ready yet. We didn't have the skills. You know, my first album, my first project thing that I sold on CD, you know, in backpacks in high school, was called City of God. And it was like gangsta, Dipset wannabe raps, you know, over Brazilian songs with hi-hats and shit. Like,
what was the cover?
It was me. You remember? It was me like wearing like a crazy like airbrush 6X shirt.
The airbrush with the Brazilian
and
Jesus
I was
statue?
Like superimposed over the Cocovado and stuff. Some really
it was like a
2005
For
shit.
sure,
a poor man's
airbrush.
pen and pixel.
Airbrush, you know, like with
Airbrush
Dub
was
Zero
lit.
Jordans on and my size 38 Pepe jeans.
No.
Yeah.
And he was in Florida,
Size
so you know it was
38.
big.
Size 38. I was like size 30, you know. And but we just weren't that dope yet, you know. So we tried then, and we always knew that was our destiny. This is my destiny to make this music, man. You know, like, you know, it is what it is.
I liked that project so much. I wanted to be involved in it, and got involved in the Green Tomato Coupe video, which was hilarious because
Great one.
I took it upon myself to find a Green Tomato Coupe.
Yeah.
And I searched.
The 67 Cadillac.
Yeah, all over the internet, and paid this guy to let us use his 67 Cadillac.
Listen.
I drove it. I don't even drive.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't drive anymore. I used to drive a taxi.
Are you suspended license?
No. I just
don't
You drove a
drive?
taxi in Orlando?
I rap.
Where does a taxi driver in Orlando go?
So I drove a taxi cab van for Brazilian tourists who would visit Orlando, and I pick them up at their hotel, or I pick them up at the airport, take them to their hotel, take them to, you know, I had like scheduled drops. It was a 16-passenger van, and I saved up money to move to LA to become a famous rapper, and it didn't work like that. I ended up
never
working,
does.
Yeah, I ended up working for American Apparel, and then I was like, what am I doing?
And
Then I got fired, and it was the greatest moment ever, you know.
And any money you think you have when you get to LA, it just does not exist.
Right.
No matter how much.
Like
you
I was a
come with.
manager, like I was nice, you know, I was getting retail money, you know, and I had a shitty ass apartment, no furniture, you know, and I was just.
That was Deani's first
I just
first
paid for
situation.
an
with
Oh, I
apartment,
remember you said you had to get out of here.
Koreatown.
Me too.
And I love Koreatown. Koreatown's
Koreatown.
amazing,
And then
but
no
you gotta have
parking.
bread, you know, like LA is not supportive of empty pockets.
Can I say something that's totally off topic and random? Because you're from Brazil, and people sometimes think I'm Brazilian, and it was a lot of people that were like,
I
what?
believe it.
Okay, because
Yeah,
look at
definitely.
his hair. I had a weave
How is
that
this
looked just
off
like
topic?
his hair. Well, I guess it is. I had a weave that looked just like his hair, and I used to work at a Brazilian steakhouse. And people would come in and speak to me in Portuguese because they thought I was Brazil. And then I was like,
Definitely,
oh. And then I
definitely.
looked and I was like, look at all these black people in Brazil looking like me.
Right.
Brazil.
You gotta go to Brazil. Brazil's extremely
Brazil has
diverse.
more black
Yeah.
people living in Brazil than there are black people living in America.
Oh, I did not know that.
I was just
Absolutely.
about to say people don't know that. And look,
Absolutely. I don't know why they wouldn't know that. Like,
Yeah, man.
just-
I went to. They have
But this
the
is America. They don't teach you
the
nothing.
Smithsonian now has that African American History Museum in DC, and it's very dope. And I encourage people to check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They got Black Star in there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Before that existed, in Sao Paulo, there's an African History Museum, and it's Sao Paulo. It's not it's not as moneyed up as New York City or DC, so it's not as fancy. But for me as a Black person to see that, it revolutionized the way I thought about things. Like I've never seen an African History Museum,
Right.
and to see all of that stuff curated was like an amazing experience. Representation absolutely matters. So shout out to Sao Paulo and
Shout out to São Paulo, yeah.
yeah, and Rio and Bahia and one of the blackest places on earth.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we did Carmen when we first met, but that didn't make it on Good Blood because Good Blood is a mixtape. So we linked up for Javodi Media and did the Brutus album. And I'm proud to be part of that album.
Thank you.
I love the album. You worked
So
hard
proud
on
you're
it.
part of it.
Joey worked hard on it. We started touring. We particularly started touring Europe. So tell me about that time in your life when we first started touring Europe, doing the Carmen video in Norway. Just that period.
Yeah, it's crazy to sample Brazilian music and hip hop and then shoot the video in Norway, in Oslo. And it was like the coldest day ever.
It was very cold.
I mean, I think it's always cold in Norway.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Since we've been, Europe has a deep appreciation for hip hop, and that changed my perspective on touring, So, touring in Europe with hip hop is an extreme feeling, and it's beautiful. And I learned a lot. I learned how it's still so prevalent in every day. Whereas here, like America, they're a little jaded. They kind of forget sometimes all these great things that happen. There's still like, yo, Brazil's like that too. Brazil's super hip hop.
Yeah.
We did an event in Brazil, and it's like with Jay Rawls and Jay Live, and it's like, yo, Scratch Bastard just
He
got
was there.
booked to, yeah,
That's right.
he's going there like next week.
Word up.
So there's hope in seeing that, like, yo, incredible music lives on.
Shout out to Chuck D and RapStation.com.
Shout out to Chuck D.
I think it's called RapStation.com, where he showcases hip hop music from all over the world, focusing on music outside of America. How did you meet Chazmere or Chaz Van Queen or whatever his name is these days?
Through your son, I think.
Through Amani, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Shout out to Chaz, BX
from the.
Yeah,
Chaz Van Queen, Chazmere. He's an incredible musician, artist, multi-hyphenate, great man from the Bronx. And linking up with him was great, like it's like meeting yourself, like the Spider-Man meme. You're like, oh, that's me.
Right.
That's a different version of me. And he was very receptive to me. And every time I was in New York, I was coming to New York a lot, when working with Javodi and Kweli, and I just go up to Harlem and realize how far it is from Brooklyn to Harlem. And it's only like a few miles.
It's not that far. It's just a lot of people in the city
yeah,
that
but
get in the way.
Get there, it's like, oh, you going to Harlem?
Didn't we walk there?
To Harlem?
No, where did we walk?
See, it's far. See,
No, but where did we? You guys walk. We were walking like an hour.
Oh, that wasn't an hour. That was more like 40 minutes. That was more like
That
a half. That
was
was a half hour.
brisk New York walk.
That was a half. You was on that walk.
I was
you
on
was
that
on
walk.
that walk.
Yeah.
It was
like a
not a
half hour.
brisk New York walk.
It was
But
hot
he's a
outside.
walker. He's a
we had
walker. He
shorts
likes
on.
to walk.
What are you talking about?
It was an hour.
I had shorts on. We got back within an
Californians
hour.
are spoiled, especially Floridian Californians are spoiled with walking. Like, I'm kind of a Floridian, Californian, Brazilian, whatever. Like, we don't be walking.
Man.
Like New Yorkers love to walk.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I
like,
walk
there's
everywhere.
a couple blocks over there.
I was trying to walk back to the
more.
Airbnb
Yeah,
from here.
Yeah.
As I said, it was a 26-minute walk. I would have did it if I didn't have luggage.
right.
But-
June said the same thing. He's like, let's walk to the hotel. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Austin, South, but that's what I like about South by Southwest is
Get on
that
a pedicab.
when your pedicabs are dope, when it's so crowded that you have to walk, I like that vibe because it's like a great equalizer.
A communal walk. A communal walk is different than a walk with purpose.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, New Yorkers walk with purpose. They don't just be like lollygagging.
Nah, and I still don't lollygag, but I also just don't like to walk anymore.
Well, at least you know that.
Yeah.
So you and Chaz
No
and
lollygagging.
you and Chaz and Joey make up the core of a larger crew called Colors of the Culture. And I'm part of this crew. Junie's part of this crew. we did a TV series on YouTube, Colors of Culture TV. Had a lot of fun with it. But tell me what Colors of Culture is and what that represents.
Right. So Colors of the Culture is more of like a feeling. It was Thanks Joey's idea. It's a record label. It's a clothing line. It's, it creates content, We make stuff. We make great stuff.
Like what?
What?
The Rappetizers.
Rappetizers?
We bake fresh Rappetizers.
Yes.
Garments, fabrics,
Textiles?
Ideas.
Do you recall us going to, on Colors of the Culture TV, my favorite 2 episodes, I think, are...
I just rewatched it. It's so good.
It's good.
So underrated.
Shout out to Kayla Reefer. She did a great job.
Kayla Reefer.
In New Orleans with Poison Pen and them, and in North Carolina with Knife Wonder, you were featured prominently on the Indy 500 album. And it was like...
It's an honor of mine.
It's honor of mine as well. We were like a crew at that time. It was like Rhapsody,
It was Rap Camp.
and Crisis, and Atmosphere, and Pharaoh Problem, and Bad Luck, Knife Wonder, E. Jones. Tell me about working on that project.
That's one of the biggest blessings of my life, to be invited to be part of something so important, in North Carolina. Super Rap Camp, and to be involved on it, 4 joints. And it's like Ninth Wonder has this incredible world of like music makers, at all times. The Soul Council and all those. So it's definitely a blessing. It's definitely a blessing.
What was it like traveling to Brazil for the Niko album?
I always knew I had to record music in Brazil. I wanted it to be genuine. I wanted it to be pure, and it's I needed to go home for it. And we went to Rio and São Paulo, and we got an Airbnb, and we brought an engineer, and we made an album there. And we used homemade instruments and pots and pans, and we went digging for samples in Botafogo, and we'll take it back and live sample it, and then, bang on this wall, like it was an incredible feeling. So we made about like 88% of that album in Brazil.
88%.
And then brought it, and then brought 88,
And you had dinner with Sue George?
I had dinner with Seu George.
George.
Overlooking the bay. It was incredible.
That was a good time. I'm glad he happened to be in town because he was living in LA at the time.
Seu George is incredible.
We went down there for Carnival. That was amazing. It was too many nipples, though.
Yeah.
Too many nipples?
It was nipples everywhere, son.
I just got a screenshot. I just got a screenshot.
Too many nipples? Is that a thing?
Apparently
Big
it is.
nipples, little nipples, long nipples.
There was nipples everywhere. And
Put some more dicks in it. Sorry, that's a callback from another show, guys.
there was a lot of nipples. All I'm saying is,
nipples.
it's not even about
Shirts
seeing.
are overrated
It's not even about
during
seeing the
Carnival,
nipples.
you know,
You said shirtless twice on this
I don't
episode.
mind
so I just
seeing
wanted-
nipples.
That's 2 shirtlesses.
Were they men
You have-
nipples? Is
I
that
should
what?
be shirtless right now.
Look, I'm not. Look, it's not even about looking at nipples, right? I'm not even I'm somebody who like sometimes you get these super feminists who like I'm not gonna wear a shirt because why would I
Yeah,
wear a shirt?
why?
Men could walk down the street without a
Freaking
shirt.
nip.
Why can't I? I'm with all that. I'm with all of that. Yeah, fuck it. Burn the bra. I'm with all that.
Yeah, let's do it.
The issue I have is a personal issue. I should not go to Carnival in Brazil if I want my personal space.
Right.
And so I went, and what it is it's hot and it's sweaty and there's a little element of danger. To a place, at least the places
More
we
than
was
a
at.
little.
The places we was at, there's a little element of danger.
Definitely.
And then just there's nipples touching me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, so you
like
can't be on,
strange,
you supposed
like
to be
you
on
just
it.
walk in and just everyone's
I just
there's
saw
too
that
many
episode.
nipples touching
We
me.
have this
touching
on
me.
camera. We have this
Of the
on-
nipples?
Oh my God. And
Just
he's literally
surrounded by
saying
nipples.
that.
He's like trying to get through.
He's
like,
saying
"Oh."
that.
Wait, what'd I say?
There's a lot of nipples around me. I got a screenshot of it recently. Because I watched yesterday and I was like, oh, that's such a moment. I even put it in a bar.
How
There's a
long?
song
He did. We have a new song coming.
I did a song with you and Terrence Martin, and I put out I was in
Terrence.
Brazil, nipples everywhere.
Nipples everywhere.
How
Florida pistols everywhere.
how long before you could see a nipple again after your experience?
Oh, I say nipples all the time.
Okay, so it wasn't that traumatizing.
I'm a nipple seer.
I'm a nipple connoisseur.
I'm a nipple connoisseur, for sure, definitely. I'd stand by that.
I just got my nipples back.
Nipple
so.
sommelier? That's what you said?
Nipple sommelier.
A nipple sommelier.
And then he took a sip. Where you get that from?
I love to sip on
Some
the
random
nipples.
nipples you drinking from over there.
You know,
Life's too short to wear a shirt.
it is. You have the song called Bourdain, and you talk about
That's a great one. That's what Narcy. Look, I Rockefeller.
Shout out to Narcy.
Shout out to Narcy.
Yes,
Make some noise for
Narcy
Narcy real quick. That's a friend of the show. He's been on the show, you know, and he's a great guy.
He's a great man.
So you often get told that you need a travel show, and you love food and travel. You see the world with open eyes, and you have tons of good vibes. I tell you that all the time.
Okay, tell me more.
I
Let's
know.
go.
Can you explain what you've learned through your travel around the world, and what you learned about travel from Anthony Bourdain?
Always order the codfish.
Really?
That's one of them. Yeah, you know, I mean, you learn about life through traveling and experiencing different cultures, you know, and that's why Orlando's so inspiring on me and what I've done, because there's so many cultures there. You know, like we can go eat Brazilian, we can go eat Venezuelan, we can go eat Somalian, you know, just on the same block. You know, and Bourdain, I mean, rest in peace to the God, like, yo, what an incredible person, and, you know, provided us with a lot of incredible moments of joy, you know. And we made a song honoring him with Narcy, and it's really good. I said I was ordained to live like Anthony Bourdain.
What would your travel show look like?
Well, we did a little bit of it on YouTube, and I kind of do it on Instagram, and I will have it on a big platform soon. But it's just going to be a lot of food, a lot of rice, a lot of starches.
Your IG is just food.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than that now. It's hair. We got hair.
Food and hair.
Food, hair.
Doesn't sound like a good combination.
Incredible raps. No shirts.
No shirts, a lot of shirtless.
Food, hair, nipples.
You're shirtless in the video for Coca a little bit.
Yeah.
Narcy directs this video.
I got kind of like a shawl thing over.
Because you're doing Fear and Loathing.
I am.
You're doing
Hunter S. Thompson. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gonzo.
Gonzo, who's played by Benicio del Toro, who you captured his essence in your
thank you.
in your impression of his performance.
Narcy directed that video. It's an incredible video.
Yeah, it's a fun video. That's a great movie. Are you shirtless in the Meet Me in the Future video? No, you have a shirt on in that video. I'm in that video. I'm pretty sure you have a shirt on in the video.
Yeah.
I'm in. We went to Puerto Rico. Thirst, you have a bunch of songs with Thurston Howell.
I do. Thurston Howell is a father to the Spanglish style.
Explain that.
Mixing languages in hip hop is nothing new, you know. But to do it as a primary thing, you know, can be confusing because people like to listen to music in their language, you know. Like I just want to listen to English, you know. So there's been people who have been very successful in combining elements of that. Thurston Howell, you know, obviously the Be Real and the Cypress Hill guys, like many more. And he's just somebody I encountered in my travels through you, through the Low Lives, and he's low-key been very influential on me, you know. He is the Scalazopher.
Right.
You know, I went to
From
find that out
Island.
later in life, you know, that I flipped the chill and he flipped the skill, but I didn't necessarily grow up listening to him because I was very far removed from that. I was in Florida. So when we met, it was, again, Spider-Man meme. And that's like my whole life is a Spider-Man meme. I keep meeting people that reflect me and, you know, like we're mirrors of each other. So working with him is like, and he's the OG of that, you know, and that's why we've gotten along so well on records.
Yeah.
You know, he's on my last project, Sofrito, twice, 3 times maybe.
When we went to Puerto Rico, he hadn't been since he was a kid, and I was so happy to be a part of that. I knew him from Brooklyn. Of course, he's from the Low Lives, but when I knew him, it wasn't about Low Lives. He's always about Low Lives, but he was moving into the MC space, and he was Thurston Howell III, the Skillionaire, and the mixtape was Skilligan's Island, and it was a whole. It was just so well thought out, and he spent some time in jail, so he had he has videos about jail recipes. But Low Lives used to boost and liberate, as Aliasha said on the show, liberate the polo clothing, and they did it to such a degree that he developed a relationship with Ralph Lauren. Like, y'all stealing so much of my clothes, y'all making my shit hot in the streets.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you
He's
watch the Polo documentary on HBO, he's in it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Thurston Howell, but we brought Thurston Howell to San Juan. Thurston Howell III, excuse me.
It's amazing.
And it's spelled Thurston like I'm thirsty, Howell like a wolf.
Thirsty.
Thurston. The song is Oh Hector. Shout out to Federico. He made that, right? And
Federico.
Yeah, man. And it's Hector Lavoe sample.
It is.
And I got more into Hector Lavoe in that era because you did that record.
Thank you.
So thank you for that.
You know, it's kind of taboo to touch certain records, you know, but I felt like I had to do a dedication to that, you know, because that was the beginning of my full integration into like trilingual rap, you know, because I never really knew how to mix it perfectly, and I'm still learning, you know. And I started with the beats, with Deng Joey, and but I was still mainly rhyming in English. And now it's like I got 3 different pens to choose from. Like, yo, the well is endless. You know, like it's an honor to be able to like, oh, let me take this, let me take that, you know?
Yeah.
And then I felt like to start that off, I had to do it with a dedication to Hector Lavoe. So the song's called Oh Hector. We filmed it in Puerto Rico. We went to El Yunque. We went to La Perla with Chino Nino. Shout out to Chino Nino. He's on my record too. So it's like I got to pay respect to the OGs who laid the groundwork for me.
Yeah.
You know, because there's not many of us. And there's like never been a Brazilian MC in the hip-hop, American hip-hop world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
like, I can't name one, and it's unfortunate.
Everybody who knows me knows I love Puerto Rico. Love going there. And I actually went and linked up with Tego Calderon, who's also a pioneer in the Spanglish rap.
Oh, the GOAT.
And
La Vallarde.
Right. And so we got together on your album on a song that I love.
One of my best moments of my life.
Thanks,
man.
Joey, again for the Spanish Harlem record.
Spanish Harlem.
Yeah, man. Tell me about that record.
That song to me feels like what it would sound like to live inside of Rosie Perez's mind. You know what I'm saying? Rosie Perez is the shit. You know, like you just hear her like, yo, doing the dance and stuff, and her accent. I wanted to make a song about her accent, inspired by that whole like, yo, Spanish Harlem vibe. You know, I started spending a lot of time in Harlem with Chaz and realizing how expansive and inspirational it is, you know? So I wanted to make a record like that, and then with opportunity came, it was like, yo, doing a song with Tego Calderon, like, that's like top of the food chain of the, you know, like Latino MCs, like that's our hero, you know? And Kweli, that's our hero. So to have a record that has Kweli and Tego, and y'all have another joint, that's an incredible, powerful, like, resistant song, you know? And then we got with the band, and a lot of the Whiskey Boys. Yeah, a lot of the Whiskey Boys are, that's what it is. Incredible. A lot of the Whiskey Boys play on that record. Brady Watt, and, you know, it's very live.
Is John Cave on that record?
John Cave is on that record.
Rest in peace to John Cave.
Rest in peace, John Cave. Beautiful man. So thanks Joey chefed that up flawlessly, and then we had the band, and then we had Tego, and I remember Tego sending me WhatsApp. He sent me a WhatsApp. How to have his number saved. He's like, and he's just like, you know, he's just Tego Calderon, and for me it was like such a moment, you know, because I'm like, I'm getting WhatsApp messages from Tego, and he's like, yo, did you like the verse and this and this? I'm like, do I like the verse? And he sent it through WhatsApp.
Right.
I don't think I even got the Pro Tools file of it, you know? And Joey's like, yo, and I'm like, yo, bro, we got it.
We got it.
Right.
Figure
Make
it
it
out.
happen. He's like, yo, but I was like, bro, it's Tego. What am I going to, you know?
He sent you a verse through the WhatsApp.
Resend it, you know? He sent me, and I had to like, you know, he had to doctor it up, and and then ended up being one of the best songs of my life, man.
That's dope.
Thank you. Thank you for making that happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So for the Niko album, you also got to tour with Styles P. How was that, and what lessons did you take away from him?
Right, so that was a Kweli Styles P tour that I kind of just jumped on.
Is that how that happened?
That's exactly how it happened, yeah. Right place, you know. I was like, oh shit, they're going on tour. That's my man. I'm going to pull up.
I don't remember it happening that way, but sure, that sounds accurate.
Yeah, you know. And I pulled up like one of the...
Because you did every show.
Yeah. I was there for you. I'm there for you,
Yeah.
you know. Like, I don't... You know, the rap shit, man, you know, is great, man. But the moments, and you're my brother, and, you know, like, just experiencing life at that pace is very inspiring to me, you know. So I just wanted to be around and be supportive, and you shared that stage with me a lot, you know. So I was on that tour bus, and it was a big tour bus, and I was like, all right, I'm going to hop on that.
Yeah, there's room.
You know, and we tour, you know, tour many different ways. You know, sometimes, most of the time, it's flights or it's like a sprinter. You know, but like it's never been, but it's not usually huge sprinter for like 50 days. You know, that was my first big tour ever. Was with Kweli and Immortal Technique. That was my first.
Yeah,
big tour.
we did. So you were officially on that tour.
I was officially on that.
Okay, so that tour, man.
I got posters of that.
That
tour changed my life.
Yeah, that tour. So we on tour with Immortal Technique and Rebel Arms.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Chino XL.
Chino XL. Chino XL is the
CF.
Spanglish rap
Again.
G again.
I pay my respect.
You have a song named Spanglish.
In Outer Space.
Spanglish in Outer Space with Chino XL.
Bang. That's how good it is.
Chino, you gotta come sit with us. Shout out to Chino XL, bro, because
the lyrical Jesus.
The way he held me down on that tour was impressive. Like Rebel Arms.
I like this up for Chino.
Rebel Arms is an aggressive crew. And there was some situations on the road that was aggressive. Like our crew he's the chillosopher. I'm on the road with the chillosopher. And Immortal Technique brings Rebel Arms. You know what I'm saying?
They're very militant.
No, these guys are doing push-ups in the parking lot before the show.
They're doing pull-ups with cinder blocks.
That's what they was doing.
Who carries around cinder blocks that they got
Rebel
off the
Arms.
street?
Shout out to the Rebel Arms, yeah.
Yo, Immortal Technique is the most most aggressively intersectional person on earth. He was doing speeches, angry speeches about how you should respect gay people.
Yeah.
You should respect motherfuckers want to live.
Yeah.
I have a question for both of you guys. Because y'all are both always on the road, and you have a work and play. There's a fine line between work and play, right? So how do you guys differentiate to like be there when it's time to work and still not work too hard and be able to relax yourself? Like, what's your...
You want to go first?
Water. Coconut water.
Pedialyte. Electrolytes, Pedialyte.
Love. A mother's love. A warm embrace.
Mama is.
Rice. I'm all about the work, you know. My work is play. So I'm humbled to be here. I used to do a bunch of shit. Some legal, some non-legal, you know. So to be able to be here and, you know, share my thoughts, you know, like nothing else matters, you know, like. So it's easy to, you know, focus.
Right.
Because this is what I was born to do, you know.
Yeah, my answer is naps.
Yeah.
Siesta gang. Nigga.
He's a professional nap. I was telling him he takes old school naps.
I'm good at napping.
Like jazz naps, like Langston Hughes naps.
I'm good at napping.
He takes a good, solid
Take
nap.
God tier naps.
God tier, yeah. I'm not much of a napper. It's Nap King Cole.
I'm Nap King Cole.
Hilarious.
I'm still learning because I'm you know, like,
Siesta
my
gang.
mind be moving, so it's hard for me to sleep like on demand, you know. So when I do, it's like I'm either
I
sleep too
like
much.
a baby on demand.
I sleep too much. I
Tell her that,
oversleep.
tell
I
her
have
that.
no
Let me-
worries. I'm very comfortable with my moral core. I sleep like a baby.
Yeah, man. It's I mean, because new artists and people that are just getting, like, for instance, I just started traveling with work. When I first got here, it's like,
You
we're
mean,
on
so
vacation,
with this?
but we're not exactly. And it's
You
like,
said that the other day. I thought that was interesting. And you said that
I had to switch my mind from vacation.
yeah, because I
mode.
was like, and when you said that, I was like, so in her mind, anytime she gets on a plane, it's vacation. Which is strange to me because anytime I get on a plane, it's work.
Yeah.
Well,
Bars.
because that's your life, which is
Yeah.
why I was wondering how
Same
you
thing.
separate it. But like for me, it's like when I got here the first day, I was like, oh, I'm on vacation. And then like halfway through, I was like, oh shit, I gotta be looking good on camera tomorrow. Let me get my life together.
Yeah, we hit the ground running with this. Shout out to Austin, Texas, for
Right.
taking care of us. Yeah, clap for Austin. That's what
Yes,
I'm saying.
Austin.
It's very like think tank situation here. You
In
know?
here?
Like, yeah, I mean, there's a studio there. I walked in there
Oh,
yesterday.
Native Hostel?
I made 2 songs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Then I went to the vinyl store. I picked 2 Brazilian records. Then I went over there. I had 2 mezcals.
It's such a
like-
beautiful place for artists and musicians here in Austin.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about California Terry, because I don't know too much about California Terry. And you did this project with him 88 days a week.
Oh, that's nice.
I like the 10,000 hours a lot. I like the Gaines Chill a lot. I
100,000
like
hours.
The 2 miles an hour.
Oh, look at that.
It's a beautiful song. But tell me about this. Your pandemic project.
Right. That was definitely my pandemic project. I was in, I flew down to Florida to see my mom's. And then I went to Gainesville. Gainesville is like my retreat from life. I go over there. I have no distractions.
Nothing there.
No. River. A lot of rivers, springs. I started swimming a lot. And I linked up with my man, California Terry. I got booked to do a show there. He copped a feature for me. So this is all full circle. He copped a feature for me. I did the record. Came back to Gainesville for like a little retreat vibe. Linked up with him again. Pandemic happened. I kind of got stuck in Gainesville a little bit. And we started creating the project. And we made it. And it's 88 days a week. We have the same birthday. And we would just go to the river all day, Ginny Springs, and just float. And there's like a 4-hour float. You just inner tube and just sit there and just float. Just
They don't got alligators?
They got a lot of alligators.
So walk me through this because y'all already live in Florida.
Look, you were at the Chappelle summer camp.
They don't got alligators.
No, it's too cold there.
They don't got alligators.
They don't.
And if they had alligators, I might have reconsidered.
Right, but you know,
Lazy boy
you don't go in the
down the
ocean.
river.
You don't go in the ocean. The ocean got sharks.
They do, and you know what?
It's a crapshoot, but you got to trust God, bro.
It's the thing is,
or trust the wave.
right.
Trust in the ocean. You trust Yemanja. Over there, you trust the Gainesville Gators. You know, and you gotta just praise the Gators. You know, like they're not gonna bother you. They're living their life, man.
Okay.
The water is cold too. In the spring, you know, like it's like a river. You know, the Itchnatucky River is amazing, and then the springs are kind of like offshoots from the river, and you just kind of just float.
So then after that, you started working with El Bless. That's the Florida. So this is Florida. This is Florida original
music.
Florida music.
Right. So pandemic was very promising for me as an artist, you know. From the Chappelle summer camp thing happened. In between that, I was in Florida because I didn't want to be in California during the pandemic. There was no shows except the Chappelle summer camp thing. So I was just in Florida. So I need to create. Joey was in California. I don't create with people through the email. I only work with you if I love you, you know, and you feel the same way. Or if you cut the check. But you know what I'm saying?
I do features for money.
Yeah, you know, whatever. But as far as like my music and our music, I don't like to, you know, like work with too many. Like all my albums are produced by one producer. I don't like to. That's how you get lopsided sounding art. You know, like you're trying to do this for that. You know, all these reasons. It's like I make music for me first. This is therapy. This is my life. I need it. You know, and then I find people who feel that same energy, and then we fill that void.
Right.
You know, so in Florida, yo, there's great people everywhere you go. There's no, you know, greatness is not location based. You know, it used to be, but now with the internet, it's like everybody could be great anywhere.
Right.
You know, that's why I come out of Orlando and I get inspired by Orlando, and then I go to Gainesville, and El Bless is a Puerto Rican salsa sage. He's an incredible Latino beat smith, you know, like he's just a genius, and I've known about him. He's been doing salsa inspired instrumentals for a while, and I felt like it was natural. You know, him and Thanks Joe, he actually made a collaborative album before.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It was instrumental, Kawa con Leche, and it's about coffee. And they're like, they're very similar.
Coffee is where the Syrians and the Puerto Ricans intersect.
And they're both big on coffee.
Yeah.
And then I started going into El Bless world, and I felt like he's the guy to take me to where I need to go sonically with the Spanglish wave, you know? And we locked in, and we made Sofrito 2020, and then we made Sofrito Season. And that's just like, that's just like trilingual greatness. Right. That's been some of my most like, you know, like Spanglish sounding things. Right. Like, you know, I'm able to play with it, you know, and
sprinkle some of that sazon.
Yeah, a little sazon, bite. A little sazon. You know?
I'm a little confused as to why you're calling it pandemic music, because you made it in Florida, and I thought there was no COVID in Florida.
Right.
That was a good one. I like that
bar,
one.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're calling up.
That's why I was in Florida.
It gets the thumbs up over here.
That's why I was in Florida, because I wasn't, I don't like restrictions. I don't like restrictions on my creativity.
Yeah, we was locked down.
Yeah, you know, like there was no lockdown in Florida. We were able to, you know, and I mean, there's a week, maybe 2 weeks, that even the river shut down. And I was like, oh, what do we do now? The ocean shut down. Like, how are you going to shut down the beach? You know, like people need it. So I stayed in the studio. So I think, you know, the studio provided a safe haven for my stillness. Because, you know, like I already was a dedicated traveler as a child. You know, my mother owned a tourism company for 30 years, you know.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
We should have started with that.
Yeah. She owned a tourism company for 30 years, and she traveled her whole life. And then she was like, all right, I'm ready to have him.
That's your origin story.
Yeah, for sure. And then my whole life was like that. I was at 2 months old on the plane, you know.
Hey,
like,
Coco.
Yeah, shout out, you know. So, like, you get influenced by that. And my whole life I was traveling. So I grew up in Orlando, and then spent my summers in Brazil and half of it in Argentina. And then in 4th grade, I got expelled, and I got sent to Mexico.
You got expelled
and I
twice?
did my first communion in Mexico, because I had my godfather, who was my only father figure, So I lived in Mexico, Michoacan, and then I went back to Orlando, and then I go to Brazil, and it was a lot of traveling. So then when I started making music professionally, and I started rocking with Kweli and how he's traveler god, you know, passport poppy.
I got my passport because of Talib.
Right. So
Got
I
the
started
dog
traveling with
years.
him, and it was like, yo, I had 25 countries with him.
We
already.
age in dog years.
So now it's weird being in one place for too long.
Right.
So pandemic was driving me crazy, you know. So I stayed in the studio, and I made a lot of music.
So during the pandemic, you guys were out living your lives. I was at home pregnant and pissy. And you
You were
guys were in
bringing a
Yellow...
life into this world.
Okay. And y'all were in Yellow Springs.
You brought a life.
Y'all were in Yellow Springs
were
at
making
Dave
creations.
Chappelle's summer camp.
Yes, we were.
Can you tell me about your experience there and your feature on I'll Tell You Later?
Are you
which
ready
is
for
one of
this
my
one? This is a
faves.
good one.
Yes.
Right. So I've been going to Yellow Springs for a few years, off and on with Kweli here and there for a day or two when we were in Ohio. We would go see Dave a little bit once, you know, go to the Calypso light, you know. But I was as a homie. The pandemic happened. I think Gotham was being ready to be put out. Diamond D was at the Shack with Dave Chappelle.
Shout out to Diamond D.
Shout out to Diamond D. I worked on this record for Talib Kweli and Diamond D's album Gotham, classic, called I'll Tell You Later. But I wasn't sure if it made it or not. You know, sometimes we make a lot of joints. And,
Right.
and I was like, let me just contribute something. Hopefully it sticks.
makes it
You know,
cut.
it's a different song. And I was like, all right, I see the album's Gotham's coming out. I'm like, all right, I guess I didn't make it. Nobody hit me or nothing, you know. And then Diamond D is
Donna, what the fuck?
Diamond D was in the Shack.
Sorry.
So it was during the pandemic. You know, nothing was really happening in the world except in Florida with me, you know. And it was the era of the D Nice going live on Instagram
Yes.
at Club Quarantine. And then he started DJing, and then I was like, Club Quarantine.
Yeah,
I
that's
kept
right.
trying to make it a thing happen.
Quarantine.
And I don't know if it happened.
It happened.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
It happened.
I
I
think you
kept
try-
typing. I was like, quarantine. Every day I was
Yeah,
like,
you did. We made it happen. We made
was like, get it?
we made
Quarantine.
fetch happen.
I was on Instagram live, and I saw Diamond D was going live from the Shack at Dave Chappelle's. And he was playing the Gotham album with Kweli. And he's playing the album, and I'm getting FOMO. I'm like, damn, I gotta be there. Damn, I hope he hits me. But it's also pandemic. You're like, I don't really want to travel. Fuck.
Right.
And then he's playing the album, and he plays the joints. You know, there's the homies there, and there's only a few people, only like, you know, select crew. And then he gets to I'll Tell You Later, which is like number 12, maybe, like at the end of the album. I'm like, the whole time I'm like, damn, I hope they play my shit. They're not playing my shit. And then they play I'll Tell You Later. And then Dave loses it live. I'm watching it live, and then Chappelle just loses it. He's like, what's that? Play it again. And then he played it like 8 times in a row. And I'm there screenshotting.
Whoa,
I'm like,
yeah.
screen record. I'm like, what? This is crazy. He really fucks with this joint, you know? I'm like, I didn't even know it made it. Chappelle's loving it. A few hours later, I get a text from Kweli like, yo, you need to come to Yellow Springs. I was like, I can't. I have plans.
What?
Right. I had plans helping my brother move, Ricky, cross country. Like, we rented a U-Haul, it was a whole thing. I was like, and I gave my man my word. I was like, bro, he planned it for months.
Shout out to Ricky.
Yeah, shout out
Good
to Ricky.
dude.
Pandemic plans. He was like, yo, you gonna help me? We're gonna drive from Portland to San Francisco in a U-Haul. And I'm like, sounds great, pandemic. And I told him I couldn't, I promise. And he's like, I think you should reconsider. And I was like, and then he says, your presence is requested in Yellow Springs.
And I think means reconsider.
And I was like, fuck. And I call Ricky, and Ricky's like, are you crazy?
Right.
You gotta go.
Yes.
I don't care, bro. It doesn't matter. You know, I slapped the mic. Doesn't matter. You know, and then my brother Ricky was like, you gotta go. And I went the next day. They sent a flight, and I got there, and it was like, they rolled out the green carpet.
Yes.
The green carpet of love. The kindness conspiracy.
The kindness conspiracy.
And then my life changed, you know. Dave really enjoyed that song. He's, you know, he saw me as a peer, and I'm like, bro, chill. You're Chappelle. You're like my hero, you know. And I already had vibe with him before, but like it
It was
hit
a different vibe
when you
because
got
now
a
he
jam.
respects you. Mhm.
I remember Kweli, I was there, and they're playing my song. He's playing it nonstop, our song, you know, and asking us to perform at the party, and she's like,
Yeah.
rap.
We performed like every night.
Yeah, and everybody loved the song, and it was
Yeah,
only
yeah.
people knew that song was Dave's crew, and there's only like 30 people, and they're all like, "I'll tell you later." And they're like, "Hey, what?"
You're
I'm
the
like, "What?"
you're the tell you later
I'll
guy.
tell you later. Like Michelle Wolf
yeah.
comes up, I walk in, she's like, "Hey," I'm like, "What?" It's like, "I'll tell you later." And I'm like, "Oh wow." And I remember, you know, and then people start treating you different when you got a little something. And then I remember looking at Kweli in his shack, sipping a little Japanese whiskey. I'm like, man.
As they do.
They're showing love. And he's like, puts his arm on my shoulder. He's like, the power of the jam.
I said that?
Yeah. Looks at me like with a Kweli, like, proud Kweli face, like, the power of a jam. And I'm like, oh,
the power of the
man.
jam is a philosophy that I've lived my life by.
And my life changed since then, you know, like now we were in New York last week. Kweli had a run at the Blue Note. He was gracious enough to share the stage. I rocked with him. And then we went to go see Chappelle after party. And Chappelle was just on stage smoking cigarettes, singing along to songs, you know.
And then he
Singing
saw
along
you
to
and he
songs.
was like, dude, I'll tell you later.
Yeah. So look at this. So he gives me the mic. He's like, I'll tell you later, right? And I was tired. I had just done 2 shows with him. He hands me the mic, and I'm like, nah. And then he's like,
look at this. Look, see how it goes?
No. But it was a contextual thing.
Nah.
Like he didn't he was just on stage. It was kind of dark. Like Kweli wasn't there. I didn't want to do the joint with that. You know, like I had reasons in my mind.
I was there. I just wasn't.
He was in the cut. He was incognito.
Yeah, I was.
And he hands me the mic, and I'm like, no, I'm good. All right. And then he walks away, and I'm like, why did I say that? Like as soon as I'm like, oh, damn. And his security, the homie, Brandon looks at me. He's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because he's a homie. Like, we're all a team. This Team Chappelle, like, everyone here believes in each other and wants each other to succeed now. Like,
Shout out to Brandon.
Yeah. Shout out to the whole Team Chappelle. Shout out to the Javoti Media, the 12 Rivers. Like, now there's, like, a ridiculous, like, orb of, you know, like, support. It's beautiful. He looks at me, says, don't do that. I'm like, damn, I was like, why did I do that? In my mind, I'm like, well, I should have, you know, it's an after party, everybody's phone's locked up. And then DJ Trauma, shout out to DJ Trauma, always
DJ
being in the
Trauma.
moment. He was like, nah, fuck that, we gonna play it. And then he plays, I'll tell you later. And
And
then
you
I was like,
get
give me
the
that mic.
Thank
and
you.
then I go, and then I'm like, Kweli, where he's at? And then Kweli was
is that how it?
yeah. He was wearing a crazy coat, you know, Kweli coat and shit, a little scarf joint. And just comes out-
scarf!
yeah, the scarf on the neck, like
love the scarf.
looking like the BKM CEO, you know. And he just walks in, and I'm like, all right, because I don't want to do the joint without him. Like, that's my man.
I heard
you
y'all
know,
on
like,
stage and I came from where I was at.
Right.
Of course
like,
you did.
I don't care about, you know, manipulating my way to success. You
Nah,
know, like I just want to
loyal.
make music and
And
travel
then
the
Busta
world.
Rhymes got on and did a whole Busta Rhymes concert.
Right. And I get off stage, I see Busta Rhymes, and Kweli's like, yo, this is my man Busta Rhymes. He shakes out his
Really?
hand. He's like, I know you, Duke. Keep shining, King. And he sticks his hand in
With
his
his buff ass arm.
I shake his hand. I'm like, you're my hero, Busta. And he goes on stage and does 4 joints, you know. Put your hands where my eyes could see. And I just lose it. Yeah, it was amazing.
Amazing.
New York City Nights.
New York City Night. Now you mentioned we were live from the Blue Note, which is the name
Live
of
from the
your
Blue Note.
latest song, produced by Junie Ali. Junie, come over here so the people can see what you look like. He has a T-shirt on that says his name and everything, just in case.
The Beat Ministry.
You're not sitting. You're just dapping us up.
Just look in the mic.
Just wait.
Just
Niko, make some space.
Just sit there for a second. Oh God. Just for a second, because
That was a good segue.
Junie is a Brooklyn-born Orlando resident.
He trying to sit like he
Beat Ministry.
I have a half-ass over here.
Beat Ministry is the name of his company, as you see from his shirt. He is also the Orlando representative for Low Lives. Shout out to Thursday Howard once more again.
Hells up.
And he makes beats. And Junie's just an all-around great guy. Well, shout out to Elsha, by the way, who was with us in Yellow Springs. Little baby Elsha.
Come on, pa.
Come on, Pa.
Paw Patrol.
Pa Patrol. What's up, Pa? Now, you know, don't get too comfortable. You're not gonna
I'm
be here
just
for
falling out of the
Damn, Talib!
I just want you to talk about the project for a second. You have this project, Young Viejos,
Young Viejos, The Adventures of.
The Adventures of, and tell me about this Live from the Blue Note song that I'm on with Punch and Words and AL and Midas the Beast.
The one word I could use to describe it is organic. We were just going through tracks with, like you said, pandemic. He goes, we need our boy Midas on a track. He's from Orlando, rapper from Orlando. Put him on, and the song sat there just with Midas's verse for a month or two. And then he wrote his. And then we went to the Blue Note and met AL. And AL came back to Orlando and said, yo, what y'all doing? And then showed him that song, got him on that. And it was AL's idea to go, hey, got an idea, let's call Punch. Matter of fact, let's call Words.
Oh, and we met them at your...
Yeah, so we called Wordsworth, and he called it, and then everybody got on it. And the last person to to get on it was Kwa.
I had FOMO. I heard it. I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Wait a
You
second.
can't have a lyricist lounge song
What's
without
going
me.
on?
So it was pretty organic, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Great journey.
Thank you for taking half of the chair.
Yo, come on, man.
Oh, shit,
I'm an old
Trevor.
man, son.
But yeah, you got Planet Asia on this project, Afro on this project. Who else?
We got Wordsworth. Shout out to Wordsworth. Very skilled pen. We got Sky Zoo. Sky
Oh,
Zoo
yeah,
is
they
on
on the
there.
show.
Term is on there. Terminology.
Shout out to Terminology.
My man Thieves from California. Orlando.
Corey
Cat
Mo
Mike.
just walked in. I saw Corey Mo. Corey Mo got Terminology, early Terminology on his album.
Oh. Who else we got?
Tabernacle.
Who else we got?
Church,
I don't remember. It's a lot
We
of
got some
features.
greatness, man. Wait for the album.
no doubt. Well, look, your presence is a gift. Your gift is a presence. Junie, Niko, thank y'all for coming through.
It's an honor.
I got one more question before we get out of here. And it's not even a question, but I'm just going to give you a chance to do some redemption for Magoo. Because on this show, we had Isaiah Rashad on the
You
show.
be slandering Magoo
And
every
shout out to
time I'm
Isaiah
watching the
Rashad,
People's
right?
Party, man.
Shout out to Isaiah Rashad, but on the show,
Yeah.
Isaiah Rashad was talking about how Magoo was one of his favorite rappers. And I was like, fuck no, you don't get to say that to me because I grew up idolizing Q-Tip so much. Magoo
Yeah,
side
I don't see. I don't understand
You're
why.
young, you're young.
You know,
Young
Q-Tip
Viejo's.
is look. Q-Tip is incomparable. Like Q-Tip
I get it,
is
but
his own.
you got to understand from my
Vibrant thing.
perspective.
Like
it's-
Magoo,
Y'all are in your
Q-Tip.
30s. I'm in my 40s.
You were
it's
into
perspective.
Magoo?
I'm
Of
timeless.
course, I was into. We're all the same age.
So, but let me
Not
just
me.
say,
Oh.
let me just say, I might have gone a little hard on Magoo in that episode.
Thank
Right,
you.
Magoo felt the way.
He
Did he?
I'm sure he did. That's what I'm saying. He should feel away.
So I'm gonna give you
And I
a
think
chance.
Magoo jumped in the DM. No, I think I jumped in his DM or something like that. Because I'm gonna get the Magoo joint.
Sorry,
You gonna
behalf
get
of
that
my
Magoo
friend.
feature?
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. And
Okay,
you'll be like,
I'ma
yo,
jump on it.
I might have to get on that.
So look, I'm gonna give you a chance to give Magoo some People's Party redemption.
Magoo, I got nothing but love for you, bro. Cheers. I hope you live 100 years.
Yes, indeed.
And his voice and Q-Tip's voice are two
You got
totally
the best
different
voice.
voices.
Like, how you gonna
All
slander
right,
Magoo?
everybody, relax.
My
not
mouth
gonna
was
do
open
this
when he
again.
said that. But anywho, Niko, this has been just amazing. We know that you have Live from the Blue Note coming, and you told one of our producers today you have so much more in store. So please share of what's next for Niko
I did
Is.
say that. I make a lot of music, and it's all amazing. And it's all coming out soon. The Adventures of the Young Viejos, produced by
Viejos.
Junior Ali on Javoti Media, Beat Ministry, Colors coming out soon, Incognito coming out soon. I got albums with J. Rawls and Copyright coming out soon. I got joints with Kweli coming out soon. I got joints with Corey Mo coming out soon that he don't know about. You know, because there are ships made of wood and there are ships made of steel. But the best ships
Are
are friendships
friendships.
because those
Those
are
are
real. I
real.
appreciate y'all having me.
People's Party is proud to have Niko Is. Give
I
it up.
split chairs with all my brothers.
Junie Ali.